What's going on? This is Multi Styles, and what we got here is Fight Night's Finest. Let's get ready to rumble! Fight Night's Finest. Let's step in the ring where the lights are blinded. I'm about to just knock you out. Now your mouthpiece, you cannot find it. You cannot face the weather. Warming up like May's weather. Super fast like Mayweather. You cannot put your face together. Cause my hands is lightning speed. I don't really think people wanna fight with me. You'll likely flee like Frazier from Foreman. Guaranteed tonight you'll bleed. Looking like I swiped your feet from under you. I'm like Tyson Beast. I'll punish you. I don't think that there's nothing your freaks are gonna do but sleep.
What is good, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy, Fight Night's Finest, the Sophie commentator, back with another Fight Night match. Now, I didn't say Fight Night Champion online ranked match like I usually do, and you can tell from that record right there. That is the record of one of the best lightweights, possibly the best lightweight to ever step foot in the ring. Roberto Duran, 130 wins, with 70 of those 103 wins coming by way of knockout, with 16 losses in his career, in his great career, in his legendary career. Roberto Duran, Hall of Famer. If you don't know who that is, you should watch his matches. Anyway, we're going to talk about watching people's matches, and before we get into that, I picked two different contrasts of style. I picked an inside fighter, which is going to be the guy I'm using, and I'm going to have an outside fighter, a boxer, a defensive-minded fighter, and a fighter who can counterpunch well, but, you know, does a lot of things defensively. So just two different mindsets, one an offensive-minded fighter, one a defensive-minded fighter, just so you can see a bit of the contrast in style. And I know a lot of you guys see a Fight Night match and you might want to click off, but I want to advise you to stay for a while. I was watching one of the probably the only other Fight Night champion poster who fight sim, Davedarippedone, and you know, if you haven't checked that man out, you should definitely do so. A very respected member of the community. If you want to, take your time, pause this video and go to his channel and subscribe. His link is in the description. You see it right there pop up on the screen. Go ahead, click that annotation. If you're on the computer, it'll take you right to his channel and subscribe. Very entertaining commentator, but a fighter who cares deeply about the Fight Night community and helping players and fighters improve. If you haven't checked out Davedarippedone, I definitely advise that you do so. And I was watching one of his matches the other day, and he said something that I think all new players should know. And I think it would be a great tip to any of you guys out there looking to improve. If you want to get better at the game, watch boxing. As simple as that. A lot of the stuff that you see me do in the ring, a lot of the way I fight the way I do and the way I use certain characters the way I do is because I sit back and I watch some of their matches. And with me being able to watch their matches, I can capture their basic style, and I understand all the basic styles of boxing. The inside/swarmer style, I can see that right here with Roberto Duran. The outside fighter style, if you look at my Ray Robinson video, that's me kind of using Ray Robinson the way that he's supposed to be using, pumping that jab out, very technically solid, but also being able to go in there and mix up some combinations. So for the different styles that there is in boxing, the outside fighter style, the counter puncher style, the very defensive style, the inside fighter style, the boxer puncher style, the unorthodox style fighter. There's so many boxers out there that have these different styles, and there's a lot of them that you can just go on YouTube, look up their matches, type in their name, watch their matches, and you'll learn the different styles that you're supposed to know when you play Fight Night Champion. In my opinion, there's two kind of styles in here. There's the guy who follows the boxing style. Oh, well, three. There's the guy who follows the boxing style fight sim, but you got to mix in some of the things in order that you see. Okay, basically two. Sorry, guys. Let me say this to you correctly. Listen to me carefully here. You got two types of style here. The guy who understands boxing, but also understands the game's mechanics, and I think I kind of bring that style to the table. I got fight sim, but I also do what the game allows me, like pump blocking, because that's the only way you can play defense. Mixing the side step uppercut every now and again, just so I can, you know, switch angles and land some punches. So, you know, you have that kind of style, and that's a successful style. And then you have the spammer style, the exploiter style, the guy who's gonna go in there, do anything it takes to win, the cheap style, the easy way out, the guy who doesn't understand or respect boxing. You'll have success with that style as well, but you know, one's more honorable, the other one is more scummy. One's arcade, one's more sim. And I figured that you know, a lot of fighters who play this game just want to hop into online mode, or, you know, a lot of fighters that aren't good at the game, they sit back and they ask me, you know, Fight Night, can you spar with me so you can tell me where I'm at? And I don't think you need me, or you don't need to play against me in order to know where you're at. I think if you sit back and you go online and you find out that you're losing a lot of matches, that should tell you right there exactly where you are as a player. Maybe you're a new guy, you don't really understand the game mechanics or haven't mastered the different game mechanics, and because of that, you're losing a lot of these matches. Either that, or you don't completely understand boxing, you don't understand the timing, you don't understand when I should play defense, when I should be offensive minded, and because of that, you end up losing a lot of matches. And I feel if you just sit back and watch boxing like the tip Davedarippedone gives you, you'll learn a lot of these different things. You'll learn, hey, I should be boxing at this moment. And also, I think good commentary is a main way for you to figure out how you should box. What are the different things that you should see in a boxer, what a boxer should be doing. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays, watch ESPN Friday Night Fights on ESPN2. It's a great place for anybody who doesn't know boxing to learn about boxing. Teddy Atlas teaches you not only about what fighters should be doing from a trainer perspective and from a fighter's perspective, but he also teaches you some of the things that you should do outside the ring, like how fighters should be preparing for fights, you know, how they should be conditioned, what managers should be doing in order to make sure that their fighter is on the right track. You hear about ring activity, all these little different nuances that you don't hear in Showtime or HBO from the commentary teams there. I mean, Roy Jones Jr. or Paulie Malignaggi might mention it every now and again, but I feel the commentary team that you hear in this game from Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas, sometimes Bernardo Insuno, on ESPN Friday nights too. I think Todd Grisham might be doing commentary this week. So you're gonna learn a bunch of stuff just from watching that. You also have the Facebook fan page on there that teaches fighters, you know, just see how people score fights, and see, if you look at it, 95% of the time, Teddy Atlas and the people who watch Friday Night Fights always score the fights the same. So it's a good place for you guys to learn, and it's a good, they also break down some of the bigger fights that happen too. So it's a great place for you guys to learn boxing. Now, I know you're saying Fight Night. Okay, I hear you talking about these different boxer styles. You're talking about the different types of things that I will learn from boxing. But what if, you know, I don't want to just sit back and watch Friday Night Fights? What if I want to go on YouTube and learn it immediately? Well, all you have to do is just basically search up the fighters based on their fighting style. Pernell Whitaker is a very defensive style. That's the man that you see to our right here. Roberto Duran is an inside fighter style. Look at some of his matches. Another good defensive style boxer, Willie Pep. Great fighter, is in that black and white, so I know a lot of you guys don't like watching great films, but he's a very defensive style boxer, and you can learn quite a bit from him. If you're looking for very conservative fighters that counterpunch extremely effective, don't waste anything in the ring, look at Bernard Hopkins, look at Charlie Burley. Those are fighters that have a counterpuncher mentality, and they don't waste anything in the ring. They jab, they set things up technically, they take the fight in a slow, methodical pace. For an unorthodox style, watch Roy Jones Jr. You can also look at the great Muhammad Ali. Yeah, he's also an outside fighter, but he didn't do a lot of things technically right. But you see fighters with great amount of talent like those two that you can sit back and watch and learn so much from. If you want to learn counterpunch, how to counterpunch, a fighter who's a really good counterpuncher, you can look at James Toney. You can also look at Wanda Marquez. You can also look for a boxer with a more defensive style. You can also watch Jersey Joe Walcott. Very, very good fighter. And so many defensive style boxers. You can look at there's a video on YouTube called The Greatest Defensive Boxers of All Time. You can go in there, watch that video, and then just research every single fighter from there. And watch their matches. Just watch their matches, you'll learn so much about them. For inside fighter style, we mentioned Roberto Duran. A lot of people might say Mike Tyson, but to me, Mike Tyson, his style doesn't really translate well into this game because you'll be out of stamina by the 5th round. Most likely you will not knock your opponent out. So for inside fighters, you can look at Julio Cesar Chavez. You can look at Roberto Duran. Who's another great inside fighter that I think that you guys should watch? I don't know. It's kind of slipping my mind right now. But those guys are pretty good. I'm sure a lot of people in the comment section can help you guys out with this too. I would say Rocky Marciano, but he has a really sluggish style. A lot of the inside fighters that I like Rocky Marciano, it's just their style isn't technically good. Miguel Cotto's a really good inside fighter as well. He takes more, you can see how he really times things out. So he's a good fighter to watch as well. That's more modern day boxing. I like to give you guys more old school stuff because I feel old school boxers, you know, they don't clinch as much. They don't do as much of the things that you see a lot of these guys do there, and they're more technically solid. They rely more on blocking and footwork and head movement more than a lot of these fighters do nowadays. Anyway, for a boxer punches kind of style, look at Floyd Mayweather Jr. You can look at Ricardo Lopez. Man, the amount of boxer punches that you can watch. Anybody from the Floyd Mayweather family is a great example of what to watch from a boxer puncher. Outside fighter, you can look at Sugar Ray Leonard. You can watch Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson. You know, these are more popular fighters. I don't want you guys to look at fighters who are a lot less popular just because you won't find as many matches. And just by looking at the different styles, you can find somebody that maybe you might want to imitate, or you can put together a lot of multiple styles like I do most of the time, and you can learn so much just from doing that. And when it comes to practicing and fighting now, just practice the things that you see. Practice the timing of the jab, look at the range. Just observe the computer and figure out ways that you can counter the computer. Look at the footwork. The computer does a really good job of cutting the ring off. I usually practice on Greatest of All Time, and I don't practice as much as I used to, but on the come up, practice all the time. I didn't even play a lot of online matches. Always in Fight Now, all the time, just practicing. So those are a lot of people, or you know, those are some things that you can do for practicing your blocking. Just play the stay on your feet training game. You can also go into the sparring mode on there and see when you're landing, see when you're not landing. Just watch how the points go up, and just be very thoughtful about what it is that you're doing. And if you do that, I promise you guys, you become a better fighter. Remember, these tips were originally generated on Davedarippedone channel, so go over there and subscribe to that man. You can also tell him that I sent you. That'd be very helpful. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something. I hope I was able to teach you a little something. And I hope you guys do go out there and start practicing and continue to watch boxing and educate yourselves. Anyway, it's been your boy, FightNightsFinest, the Sofa Commentator, and I'm off this. Peace!
I told you, brother, I'm the chronicle of our struggles, the voice of the families like Moses, only keeping it